Good morning, guys. This is Rick Shaw here. It's Saturday the 16th of October, 2021, and I wanted to tell you something that I really appreciate. I want to show you, like my buddy got me hats. He got me some nice hats. Now, I always put them, even my helmets, I hang them. Somebody left a comment here one time and said, "Oh, you know why you hang them? That don't look so good and all this." Well, two reasons. One reason, I don't have a good, safe place to put them in a tiny house, and this one keeps the spiders from crawling in them. Now, this hat here, I've had this one for many years. I love this hat. I always got to check it. Anytime you get a hat, check it for spiders and crap. But this is a size 8 and an 1/8, and it fits me good. I've had it for years and years. I was out on a trip in, I believe it was through Missouri, and they had a big, it was a Cabela's. It had like a river going through the store. And I always look for hats when I'm in places like that have them. And I don't like to try on hats. You know, I just don't like to try them on. But the dude said, he said, I got them in the back. He says, I got some big ones in the back. So he got me that one. And when I find them, I don't even bother with the price. But he gave me a discount. He said they don't move fast. But I wear a size 8, 8 and an 1/8. So they're hard to get. Those hats my buddy Tom sent me, he doesn't realize how much I appreciate them. Just like when he sends me the shoes. You know, it's a really good thing that I can get them. The boys are all working today. This Saturday they're humping. Good morning. And I had always wanted a derby. I just think that's a cool looking hat. I always wanted one. When I was in England, I couldn't find one that would fit. And then one of the guys at this, it was a suit and hat shop. He said, I can get you, they're here in the catalog, I can get them for you. So I went ahead and gave him a few bucks to order it. But I told him, look, it's got to be quick because I'm going to be leaving. He said, no, I'll have it here for you. So I just trusted in him. So and he didn't have it. And he was cool. He gave me my money back. But I never got it. Well, I always look for hats on there and sizes and stuff. Well, I was on Lazada and it had a hat thing. So I was just flipping through there. And they got a size 8 derby in there. So, and it wasn't too expensive. I went ahead and ordered it. I like some of them hats. I think that's a cool hat. I used to know a guy in California. He was Irish dude, had a real thick accent, like the Lucky Charms guy. And went golfing with him. He had a derby, and that guy was one of the finest golfers I ever golfed with. He really was keen on his game. I was really surprised. He could hit the ball far, straight, shot under par. The dude, I said, you're not a pro or anything. He said, no. He said just where he comes from, he's not even that good of a golfer. So, he just was really good at it. Not a real big fella. A lot of the Irish fellows I knew were really big, but he wasn't a super big fella. But he just was one of the finest golfers I ever golfed with. I was amazed. But I do have a derby coming. It said that it's been handed over, so that'll be cool. I'll be able to get that. Now my good hat I got at Cabela's. You need a good hat like that for the rain. Here it rains quite a bit. I wind up wearing it a lot in the rain. I got the ball caps now. I like those. But and those are fitted. They're not the one with the little Velcro in the back or anything. They're fitted. So those are just mine. I keep good care of them. We wash them. I always hand wash them. I don't like to throw them in the machine or anything. But I used to have when I had some good fitting hats, I had one of them plastic things that snapped on it and you could throw it in the washer. And that was kind of cool. But that from the weather and temperature here, it cracked and broke. Stuff like that cracks and breaks. But get yourself a good hat. Here, if you got a big melon like mine, good luck. It's really hard to find hats that fit. Some of them that are big enough around, they're not deep enough on your head, so they sit way up on top of your head. Mine, I want to get some some of that treatment for it. It's leaking a little bit now, and I tried to get snow seal here. I just can't get it. I wished I could get some snow seal. Amazon sells it here, but by the time it comes, it's $100 and some bucks. You know, and getting things into the Philippines through there, the taxes are ridiculous. You know, the taxes here. That was one thing the president said, and he was going to try to get rid of that. Said he was going to, but it never happened. Hi, puppy. There's a little puppy doggy. But it's just they just hit you too hard on the taxes. They want things to be built here, and don't blame them. You know, it's protectionism. I don't blame them. It's like the Kawasaki's. They got assembly plants here. A lot of the motorcycle shops, they do that, and that's their bag. That's what they want. So that's cool. Guess it keeps guys working. Construction guys are all hopping. These guys really work a lot. They got the grass dudes have really been in cutting lately. I guess maybe they're in overdrive because of all the snakes. Now they did get a new blade for their weed whackers they got that seems to be working out a lot better. They had different ones. Now they got a big rectangle one that they're using, and they're getting a lot more done with it. I had a landscaping business for a while, and I was even talking to the guy. You know, his English wasn't good, but I said you need one like this, and you know, they were just taking forever, and he finally they found one. They found a really good blade. And I used to go in. I'm not allergic to sumac or anything. And first time I ran into one of them, I had a really good weed whacker, gasoline weed whacker. And I also had a Gravely, you know, with the big heavy blade on it. But there was too much rocks and crap in around there. It was and it was all sumac, and the people were very allergic to it, and they wanted me to cut it down. I'm not allergic to sumac. And I saw that blade. I went into the place where I bought the saw, told the guy what I was cutting, and he handed me one of them big rectangle blades. He said, "You put that on there," because I had like a circular saw blade that went on mine. But he said, "No, this is what you need because it clears it." And sure enough, I had that sumac hacked down in a couple hours. It was a pretty good stand of it. I'd say it was a good 30 feet long, and at the thickest point, it was a good 8 feet deep. And it's kind of tapered off. These folks wanted to make a picnic area in there, but they were all getting so sick from it. You know, they just poison sumac, they call it. But I chopped it all down, got it all down, and burned it all, and took care of it for him. And the lady paid me a pretty good price to do it, and I wound up getting a lot of brush clearing like that, mostly with the Gravely though. I had that old Gravely I picked up used. Those things got such a long stroke on them, they just don't stop. You know, you just run through whatever the heck you want to run through. They don't stop. But had a few attachments for it. So it's a good piece of equipment. But like I say though, when you got your hats, watch out. Like my helmets and stuff. I get these beanies from Lazada too. Every time I'm on there, if I'm making an order, I always keep them in my wish list, and I get a couple more because you can throw them in the washer. They keep your helmets clean, and I throw them on, and I always leave them laying inside the hat, you know, in case some dust gets a little bit dusty at the house. So I go ahead and I keep those. Those will keep your helmets clean, guys, and hats too. If you got a hat big enough to have a beanie. But I sweat a lot, and I don't want too much crud getting in my helmets. And just like shoes, I was never one. My dad taught me when I was very young, you never wear the same pair of shoes 2 days in a row. You know, try to get 2 pair, and that way you can give them one good day to dry. And the same with the helmets. You know, sometimes I'm riding, I get pretty sweaty. My head sweats a lot, my face sweats a lot, especially if you're in traffic here, you're going to stop. I recommend a white helmet to reflect the heat. I see a lot of these guys with the black ones. I had black ones that I kept for winter time when I was riding. And that's cool. That'll help you out. I believe it does help you out a little bit if you're riding in the sun. But here you want the white ones. It's never that cool, even at night. So that'll help you out a lot if you go with that. Plus, it helps to be seen. And when I used to go with the black ones, I thought, oh, you know, it's a difference in color. It'll help you be seen. I had some reflective tape that I picked up. I was at a motorcycle shop, And this guy had all kinds of reflective tape. And he had some black tape that was reflective. So you could put it on there and it wasn't even noticeable. I even had strips of it. I put strips of it on my bike so that you can be seen. I'm not like the typical Filipino that wants to drive with his lights off on a dingy old bike and, try to be stealth. I don't want that. I want them to see me. And usually when we go out at night, I put on that vest. Even when I walk, I wasn't feeling too hot yesterday. Just was having a horrible day, and woke up this morning. I didn't look at the clock, but it must have been around 2 or so. I threw my reflective vest on. Didn't see a single car though or anything. Nobody was out, and I took a pretty good long walk, about an hour and a half, and stretched. Get up on somebody's fence there, and I just was stretching out real good while I was walking. Got back, my little buddy was up. He was bummed I didn't take him. He's gone with me on some of those walks. He's always my little Matty. He's always ready to go. He's my little beautiful guy. He wants to go. If I go somewhere, he wants to go. Hello. Good morning.
What's up?
Oh, just making a video for YouTube.
Okay.
There you go.
Say hi.
Yep. Hello. But that's my neighbor's very, very nice lady. She's got a nice garden going. She's going on the land around her. And she's got a lot of plants, and she's always working in her garden. Friendly, just the sweetest, friendly lady you ever seen. And that's what I'm seeming to get around here. We got the workers here that are just super people, neighbors. I talk to all the neighbors, and that's one thing about here. Whether even though the water's not the greatest, and we get power outages. It's the people. It's always been for me, the people here. You just don't seem to run into too many bad ones. And when I was in the States and young, I lived in some bad neighborhoods. A lot of good people there too. You just gotta find them. You can spot the ones that aren't. But it's a beautiful day. I had yesterday. I made some bean dip. I couldn't go. I had a couple of days I couldn't go, so I went ahead and made some bean dip. And my wife was looking at me because I do, when I make my bean dip, I do all kinds of weird stuff. I empty the fridge in it. I had some green hot sauce that we didn't like. Nobody liked it. Been in the fridge for a long time. I dumped that whole bottle in. I put some crushed red peppers. I have Red Hot. I got a gallon of Red Hot, but I had some dried cayenne powder we picked up here. I covered the top of it with that. I had pinto beans and kidneys. I cooked it down enough where the pintos just turned into mush. I threw in some carbonara sauce. I don't like to use cheese, but I threw a little bit of cheese in there to thicken it up. And then I threw in a chicken noodle soup, Campbell's chicken noodle soup, and olives, just a whole bunch of stuff from the fridge. Some vegetables, I just squished them down. I had some potatoes, I gushed all them down, just to clean the fridge out. And threw all that in there. We had a little bit of pork meat. I just stringed it out. It was already in chunks my wife had cut for a dinner, sitting in there. Had carrots. It's good. She makes this thing. It's got chunks of meat, and it's got okra. And all that, and I threw a big Spanish onion in there. So I threw that. I smashed it all, threw that in there, turned it all basically into a cream sauce. I had a half a kilo of ground sirloin I threw in, and it came out good. It came out really good. The kids loved it. It was spicy, and they were even saying every bite they took, but they couldn't stop eating it. I ran up to S&R and got some tortilla chips. Should have got more because we're almost out of them, and I got a lot of dip yet, so it was good. When you're making stuff like that in the fridge, it's never the same every time. You got your base ingredients that you make the same, but I empty the fridge, guys, and it comes out every time I make it. It disappears, and I made just a small pot full. I didn't make a real big pot, and we like it. My wife was even garbaging up on it. She was liking it, and she gave some to the guys that were out. They liked it. So it's a good thing to eat, and it cleaned me out this morning. I got up after my walk. I went, and then when I got up this morning, I had to go again. So that helped out a lot. I was hurting bad yesterday, so I did drink some Drank some beer yesterday. When I was at SR, I just picked up a case and morning. There's Igne, and went ahead and drank that. If I get too much of that, it'll clean me out just by itself. So I did a double whammy on it, and that helped with the breathing and the back seeming to ease up a little today. We had yesterday we had sunshine, then rain, then sunshine, then rain. You know, the rain would just come in quick. You know, you'd be standing in the sun and all of a sudden you'd see some clouds. Next thing they were overhead and it was raining on you. So that was a heck of a day. Got my bikes under a tarpaulin now because my wife is kind of taking over the area that I got covered. That red cover we got. Morning, fellas. It you know, keeps the bike pretty dry, but you know, that area got co-opted, so I don't like, you know, it's why one of the reasons I don't ride the pedal bikes as much, because you always got to uncover them and dig them out. I like things sitting in the open, but that's just the way that's going to be. But these guys are all humping. Morning. They're all humping. This one's moving right along. I like the way these are built, guys, and love to watch these fellows work. They don't mess around. None of them do, and they're all pretty good fellas. So, and we're back at the abode. We had a little bit of rain last night. You can see on the car. It's the bike under the tarp. She does cover it up good. This dresser, I want to get out of there and upstairs. See what happens to this. This has got to get an awning. You know, totally close it in. And just have it so I can put stuff over here. These gates are kind of long. You got to watch when you open them out so you don't hit the car. But we're getting her fixed up. I want to get an awning pretty bad because of this rainy season. I don't know. I might just try to do a thing like their scaffolding and just put a big, maybe attach some metal to that, a metal roof. Don't know. They got all different kinds of roofing systems you can use here. I'm seeing more and more of them, you know, as I'm looking. And some of them are a little pricey, but it's going to be something that you do once, and I want to put it up and make it strong enough so the wind doesn't take it. I was planning on staggering the roof so there's air vent and overlap it a good bit so the rain don't get in. If it's raining really hard, rain's going to get in here anyway. But that way it'll keep the wind from tearing it up. And get the lights, you know, be able to drop the lights through it. But this thing we bought, and it was cheap, 50, $60. It's well worth it. We're keeping an eye on it so that, you know, it doesn't get ripped or anything or pulled. But even in the wind the other day, it seems to be holding up pretty well. The neighbors had one over there. You can see through the center of the camera there. They left it out in that storm and it just got ratted up. There was a neighbor down there. Theirs got ratted up. But what I did with mine, I raised it up high enough when I was measuring it in the store, and I was saying, oh, that's just about the height. And I was thinking if it was a little short, then I could put something in there so that it's got some stability. I was thinking of bolting it to the concrete, you know, just running a couple legs in there and bolting it down with one on each leg, but it's not necessary the way it's being held from the top. So, and then if the kids bang into it with something, it moves a little bit and it won't get bent. But it's we like it. You know, it seems to be pretty good, pretty sturdy, and the rain's not getting in behind there, which is real good.
Look at snail.
Oh yeah, little baby snails. Not like over at Carmona where we had the big ones, huh?
Yeah.
We had big snails over there, but it's a little bit humid today, sweaty. Kids are just finishing their breakfast. Mama made a bunch of champorado and she got some of the guys some. She has little paper bowls she bought, and she makes a big pot of that. The kids like it. I don't think much of it. You know, it's chocolate rice. I don't want it. But you know, it's a Saturday treat for the kids. You know, that's their Saturday's the day that they can have their treat. Sometimes I let them have cereals. I was at the store and there was no good deal on cereals yesterday. You know, the SNR's always got some sales on stuff, but I didn't see anything. I'll get them some cereal from time to time, and we always keep lots of milk in here. The kids, that's another thing. If they want some milk, they can just have it. You know, go get it. Be careful you don't spill. But I hate the bikes that has to be under there. Should be sitting over here. Now we got a co-opted, and we got a table here, which I'm not too happy about. So I lost my spot, guys. It sucks, but that's the way it is. But we got more ants are coming again. When it washes off see how I got all these ants again in here. They're not really getting too much in the house, but I'm going to go ahead and mix up some borax, sugar and borax again. Seems like the 25% is the best mixture for that. Borax is cheap here. You can get it at Lazada. You can get your Himalayan salt from there cheaper than anywhere. They sell it in some of the stores around here, but Lazada's got it the cheapest. So you can look to there. Some people say Shopee, but you know, it was just like they give you all these things. I let my daughter play that game on there. Now they got an egg thing that gives you some percentages. Put your stuff in there. Put it in your wish list, and leave it sit there. Don't be in a hurry. Leave it sit there for a few days, and then what happens is they'll. Not every time, but a lot of times they'll throw a discount, 10% or something. I even had one that was 15%. Then you put it, once you get that, that's good for so long. Put it in your cart. And usually by the next day, they'll give you something else. They'll give you free shipping, or they'll throw something in with it, and, you know, like that. So do that, and you'll get some better deals at Lazada. I get, you know, like my pressure washer, I got a good deal on that. The compressor, I got a deal on that one. And I don't buy this stuff unless I can get a good deal. If you look in the stores here, you got to be careful. Now the generators that I see on Lazada, I think they're a scam. A lot of them, because they give these real low prices, and they take your money, and you won't get anything for them, is what I'm believing. So you got to be careful of that. Another thing online is the bikes. I want to see them. I want to look at them. A lot of this kind of stuff. But I saw one bike that I thought, boy, that'd be a nice one for my wife. But on the comments that were all raving, they weren't written by a Filipino. They were written by a Chinese. You just read some of the comments on the bikes in there when you see them. And there was one bike on there I thought for my wife would be perfect. But the comments were... The English was just put together so wrong. It's not the way a Filipino would write a comment. Absolutely. I see how Filipinos write and what they say. This was Chinese, because, you know, they get a dictionary and they'll use a word that just doesn't even fit. So all the comments, and I'll click on see all comments. So watch for that when you're buying. When you start seeing these Chinese comments, it's their own people trying to pump up their item, and you can get some real crap. You can get stuff that comes pre-rusted, you know, because it sits in a warehouse and they're trying to dump it. So be careful of that. But we also we got a car seat we want to sell. Moo doesn't use it anymore. He's getting big. The kids are doing, you know, really good, just like my other kids. You know, you get in the car, you have to be in a seatbelt, you know, and you have to ask when to take it off. Here, the driving's crazy. We got a good car. It's got all the crumple zones and all that kind of stuff, and we don't get too crazy when we're driving, you know, with the kids in there. I do whip them around the circle from time to time. They get a kick out of that. We did have a spirited drive through the Tagaytay Mountains with the grandma. That was fun, because the car, it's unbelievable how well this station wagon handles, guys. You know, I've had some sports cars. I got to drive a Spitfire one time. Actually, my brother and his buddy split that thing, and it had like bias plies on it. And my brother one time, my goodness, he could drive that. He's a much better driver than I, you know. But he got that thing on the street, and he was going way fast. I'm like, here's our turn. And he dropped that thing, locked up the back wheels, and and cut the wheel and just did a power slide into this corner. Pulled out of there, little teeny tiny motor in it, but he kept it wound up, and I was actually surprised. But then when it was his buddy's turn to have it, the tires, of course, were shot because he knew how to slide that car, and it was a cool car. They're small, but it was pretty cool, convertible. And when his buddy got it, he put radials on it, and when he was trying that stuff, he flipped it, so the car got ruined. I guess I just heard about that. I didn't see anything like that, but this one, it's amazing how it grips the road. The tires are getting. I want to replace them. When you're here buying tires, I've been looking at prices. There's a lot of tire shops around, and you can buy tires at S&R's, not this one here, but the one over in Santa Rosa. And you can get some pretty fair deals, but the best deal that I've found on the tires are right there at Honda, And I'm thinking when I do replace these, which is going to be soon, they're getting hard. There's still a lot of tread on them, but they're not as grippy as when I first got them. They sit in the sun all day. I don't have a garage for this. Probably won't ever have a garage for it. But yeah, we love it. We love that car. It's a Honda. Probably be my last car, unless we stay here. Somebody sent a thing. If anybody heard about this, somebody said a thing that Duterte said he was going to send the military to all expats' homes to make them get the jab. I didn't see anything on that. It was just a comment on one of the videos I put out. So if anybody saw anything, send a link. I actually left the message in there for the guy to send the link. I'd like to see that. But a lot of it's rhetoric, And same thing like in the States right now. They're saying this is a law that people got to get it, and these companies do, but it's not. It's a mandate, and it's, from what I'm hearing now, it's not even an executive order. That's coming out from a lot of sites, that it's not an executive order that was signed, so it shouldn't be enforced. A lot of people are just saying no. I saw a thing on the Chicago police where half of them just said no, but they want to get rid of the cops. Personally, myself, some of them need to be gotten rid of. They're, just policy enforcers, and they want your money, giving people tickets and stuff. And it's not like the old days where you could talk to somebody, and just tell them, hey, man, okay, I won't do that again. And okay, all right, just watch it. I had one time I was driving. I had a really nice car, but in them days I didn't have a lot of money. And I got into the left-hand lane, and it was too late. I already saw that you couldn't turn left, but it was at nighttime. So I turned, and the cop came up, and you got cobwebs in your head. He seen I was a young dude. Had a nice car though, and he kind of gave me a tongue lashing, and I told him, hey, somebody forgot to turn that off. And he's kind of, all right, well, you just get out of here and don't pull that again. Don't turn left. So they have these signs during the business hours. They'll turn on. It's a red light that says no left turn, because they want that traffic to go. It's like here, you'll get somebody turning left. Nobody lets them turn left, so they're blocking traffic both ways. So what you need to do is drive up and make a right and come around. And that helps the traffic. They don't do that here, though. But that's how it was in the old days. I ran a stop sign one time. Motorcycle cop got me, and I was in a beater. I was in a $10 car. I got it for $10, believe it or not, off a buddy, and it was pretty rusty, and the fenders were held on with coat hangers. The exhaust was held up with coat hangers, and the ticket was, at the time, I think it was about $80. And I told the cop, I'm like, man, I can't afford this, and just no way, man. I can't, and who did I hurt? I was telling him, who did I really hurt? And he's like, he's hemming and hawing, bending my license back and forth, and he's like, okay, I don't want to see you over here doing this again. What are you doing here anyway? And blah, blah, blah. And he went on. But that's how it used to be. Now, they don't do that. They're just, they're tax collectors, a lot of them. And then you look at a lot of these videos on the TV where they're abusing the heck out of people, and you get shot by some of these guys. You see all that. So I'm not too happy with a lot of them that get in there. There some of them are just bad, and a lot of people say, well, there's a lot of good ones too. But when you see a guy abusing somebody, and these good cops are standing by letting him do it. Nobody jumps up and says, hey, you knocked that off. No. So I'm not seeing on a lot of these videos where there's too many of the good ones. They're just in the States. I mean, they're letting these things happen. If I were a cop and I seen a guy abusing him, I would pull him off. And you can't. Citizens would try to do it, but they would get arrested, beat, and everything else too. But you look at them how they treat people, and yeah, they see a lot of bad people. I guess a lot more than we would. I shy away from bad people, but that's still no excuse for taking away their rights. You don't pummel somebody. The thing that really got me was in Australia where the 70-year-old lady, they just get them. And then at the airports, how they're searching little old ladies and stuff and just being very rude. I've been through some airports, hasn't been for a while, but TSA in the States, just another government agency, tax collectors. They take your stuff. I had a fingernail file in my carry-on. A little tiny, it was this big. And they had a little flip-out thing to gouge under your nails. And they took it. They took that, and then I had my Boy Scout thing in and I forgot it was in there. I should have took it out, but it was one of these ones I had from the Boy Scouts since I was a kid. And it had the knife and it had two little pegs on it, and then the spoon fit in there and the fork. And it wasn't no sharp knife. It was, it just had the little serrated edge so you can cut some meat or whatever. Cool set. I got it when I was in Boy Scouts when I was just a little kid. They took that too, and I still don't buy all this stuff these guys took over these planes. Look, you start looking into architects and engineers. Don't buy me. Some people get mad at me for saying this stuff, but look into it yourself. Don't just sit back and not look. When the governments control the narrative, they're going to tell you what they want you to hear. So you got to look for yourself. And I did look at architects and engineers. There were some sites. There were some loony sites also. But these guys been on it. And I just didn't. Even the day it was happening, it just looked surreal. It just, I couldn't buy it, guys. I couldn't buy it. Lost some friends over it. To this day, they think I'm nutty. Some of them are turning around. That's the way that goes. But I'm going to let you go. I'm rambling on again. But everybody's working today. Hope they get all this debris out, because I have last night when I was walking. I didn't think, I know I'm rambling. I went through a brand new charged battery, one of these Wasabi batteries. They don't last long. Last night I didn't do a bike ride for you guys because of there's my ants. I got a whole track of these ants again. But I didn't do a big long ride because the rain was like on and off, and I don't want to ride in the rain and hit some oil or anything. But I will get out there and get you a nice motorcycle ride at night of the area. Don't know when this rain's going to end up. I seen that Richard Spot, I think's his name, Westpac WX Weather. He said again, there's probably going to be some rain. So the kids left the Frisbee out. That's my super Frisbee. I've had this for many, many years. I've had this since my other kids were babies. This dang thing, I can really whip that. Kids are learning how to catch it. I've got to get Mumu to stop catching it with his face, though. I don't like Maddie to throw it to him because Maddie will whip it at him. You got to, when these kids are little and they're learning how to catch, you got to kind of, get it to them easy. And of course, being the older brother, it's not going to happen. But I got a heck of a track of ants here. Look, I don't know if you can see them, but they're coming from way over here. And they're carrying away some dead stuff, so I'm going to let them go for a while, but I'm going to put some stuff out. If they don't clear up, I'll put them out. Seems like they really come out when we get these rains. These are good soaker rains. I put the Christmas tree out, let it get a good soak. Plus, I think the wind is going to help it, strengthen it up. If you have plants that aren't in the wind, their stalks don't get real strong. So you leave them sitting in the house too long, they'll weaken. So, but like I say, I'm rambling again. I'm going to let you guys go. Beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. Guys are over there painting. And they left that dry good enough, I think. That concrete looks real good and dry. So he's putting the first coat on. I wish they'd have primed this. I wish they would have primed this for me. But they didn't, so it's flaking off everywhere. So we'll have to get in there. Might take the pressure washer and try to get it all off, or do something, and then epoxy it, put a good paint on. I would have rather had it white anyway. You know, it's just brown. But all the trim's brown, so who knows? I'll decide that later. You know, get down to the paint store. It's not high on the list right now. But also, anybody knows other than at the bowling alleys, look at all them ants there too. Of course, there's my ball. I want to get a bowling ball and take that up again. Yeah, we really got a heck of a track going with these guys. I mean, they're coming in from all sides today. Well, like I say, I'm going to let them carry some stuff away. They're carrying a lot of dead bugs. This rain, I don't know what it is, but a lot of these bugs, they seem to, when we get a rain. We had a last night. That's why I was talking about my hat, because I had my hat on when I went for a walk. It was misting, but when I got all the way to the other end of the development, a cloud came over that just really dumped. It dumped a lot of rain for just, I don't know, 25, 30 seconds. It really poured, and it quit though. It's what you're going to get here. So this is Rickshaw out.